Film fans of YouTube, hello and welcome back to the channel. I am Josh, the Movie Apprentice, and today I am looking at Night Swim, which is my first review of this new year 2024, and this is directed by Bryce McGuire and stars Wyatt Russell, Kerry Condon, and Gavin Warren. This follows the family of a baseball player that is critically ill, moving into a new place that happens to have a pool, and during their stay there, they realize this pool seemingly has some magical ability to heal the baseball player's illness, but at what cost? Before I get into my review, if you like what you're seeing on the channel so far, click the like button and subscribe for more video reviews like this coming all the time. But without further ado, let's jump into this review. Night Swim is my first review of the year, and it can only go up from here because it is very forgetful, is the kindest way I can put this film. I wouldn't say it is god awful, but there is a level of by the numbers when it comes to this movie. Going through it, you could piece together where it was going to go and how it was going to play out. And whilst the swimming pool sequences themselves were really well done, like underwater cinematography is one of my weaknesses, and the cinematography when it came to the underwater segments were really good, but it felt the film could not really commit one way or the other if it wanted to really be campy with the idea of a haunted swimming pool versus playing it straight and narrow. It fails to find that balance. It seemingly leans into the campy side towards the final act, but until that point plays it very straight, and it's almost like the film realized that the campy vibe was what it needed the whole time, because the serious stuff just really wasn't working for me. Wyatt Russell is decent in this movie. He fully commits to his role when it gets to the final third, and Kerry Russell as well does a very good job as the family's matriarch. But the problem with this movie is the fact that it just takes forever to get anywhere, and there are certain points that once we realize what is going on and what the deal is, it makes one particular tense sequence feel like it's just there for just being there, which is a great disappointment. The two kids in the family do a really good job as well within their roles, but at the same time there is an element of the way the script is laid out that feels a little bit too weird. There is an unhealthy obsession with the pool even before it becomes a main plot focus. I know it's called Night Swim, but it feels like every single member of this family always needs to go out there at night to go for a swim, just constantly every night. It is implied in a random throwaway bit of dialogue that this film has taken place over the course of several months. What we see in the movie is every night someone just has to take a dip after hours, and some elements that I introduced never really have much of an impact going forward towards the climactic part of the film, and just the way it seems to hit an almost made by committee sort of vibe when it comes to just how it plays out. We get our initial interaction, we get the trolly creepy moments from our haunted pool, we get the casual bit of backstory, we have the character that gets suspicious, that needs to track down the family that was impacted by this the first time and tracking them down, and they have to give all the exposition whilst also going slightly crazy before we get to our big finale conflict. That is the exact way that Night Swim is laid out. Whilst it would be very easy for me to stretch out this review, I don't really want to do that because it's very easy to say what is good about this film and what is bad about this film. The underwater sequences are shot really well, and the actors do a fine job, but the film feels very by the numbers. It feels very scripted in how it plays out. And I know every film is scripted, but there needs to be a sense that I don't feel like I'm watching a script being read and going from point A to point B to point C, which is the path that this film takes. And there's a certain sequence that leads into the third act that, for me, makes no sense. When there is a certain revelation, it makes one certain attempt not make any sense from the rules laid out by the film's big explanation sequence. Night Swim had potential, it really did. The trailer for this that came out, the whole Marco Polo teaser, that was really well done, but when that bit got to play out in the film itself, it felt very shortened compared to what we actually got within the trailer. Any tension that should have come from that is immediately sucked away. It's more creepy in the trailer than it is in the movie. So props to the marketing team for it. There is a very distinct lack of tension throughout all the swimming pool sequences. Any tiny bit of creep factor feels lost after the first minute. The way that it baits people into the swimming pool, it relies on characters being stupid. It really does, and that is always a big negative for me. In a day and age where horrors have shown that they don't need to have just disposable characters or idiot characters, it's a shame that we're seeing these caricatures of people that just make the dumbest decisions still persist to this day. Blumhouse was a studio that really reinvigorated horror when it came with a Paranormal Activity series and gave us a lot of banging horror movies in the mid 2010s. Over the last few years, it feels like you maybe get one good Blumhouse film out of every 5 they make, which is a big sad downwards trend. It's a shame, but Night Swim set a very low bar for the rest of the year, and I can't see it living very long in my memory. Before I get into my great video, like we sing on the channel, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you thought about Night Swim down in the comments below. But for me, overall, Night Swim had some fine performances, but had a very lackluster script that really was devoid of any atmosphere that would have gave a bit more creep factor to it. The marketing was way more engaging than the film itself, and while it tries to do something within its final act, it feels very messy, and whilst the water sequences are shot really well, it's not going to live long in my memory. I'm going to have to say that for me, Night Swim is a lukewarm cup of tea. So Night Swim, have you seen it? If you have, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Again, you like what you're seeing on the channel, click that like button and subscribe for more video reviews like it's coming all the time. Coming up on the channel, we are going to be looking at several films including Poor Things, Mean Girls, yeah, and Claw finally comes out in the UK at the end of this month. There is a lot to look forward to, so I can't wait to bring those reviews to you. But until next time, I am Josh, the Movie Apprentice, and I'll see you all in the next video.